Cartwright, quick move to the hoop. Bayo got fouled. And now Isaiah Thomas and Cartwright are swinging.
The Bulls and Pistons hated each other. They hated each other. And they should have. I mean, they pounded each other.
And Rodman and Jordan going at each other.
Each and every game that we played against Detroit, we considered a war.
We had flexed our muscles. They were flexing their muscles. And we wanted to remain kings, and they wanted what we have. So they were the ultimate game.
Between 1987 and 1991, these two teams would play each other 47 times, 4 times in the playoffs. Each game, a battle for both supremacy on the court and a place in NBA history. But ironically, the seeds of this rivalry were sown in Boston.
The Celtics were the old veteran team that nothing bothered them, and that annoyed the Pistons because the Pistons were trying as hard as they could and nothing they did worked.
Oh my! What a mistake by Detroit!
Then they jumped over the Celtics.
Isaiah sideline.
They became the bad boys, and then along comes this team out of the Midwest in Chicago, and the Pistons treated the Bulls the same way the Celtics had treated them. These young kids don't have what it takes.
We knew they were out there, we knew they were up and coming, but at that point in time, we just dismissed it because we knew they couldn't beat us.
While Detroit may not have considered Chicago a legitimate threat in the Eastern Conference, they still had reasons not to like them.
The game that the Pistons played was rugged, it was tough, it was gritty, and then here comes Michael. Michael is art.
Here's Jordan down the middle all the way. An unbelievable ball.
We didn't like seeing this young punk come in with all this great skill. And if you came down the middle, you were just going to get killed.
Michael on the move against Vinnie Johnson to the hoop. He is necktied. Oh. Michael Jordan goes down hard.
For Piston captain and Chicago native Isaiah Thomas, beating Jordan and the Bulls was personal.
Isaiah was a great star in Chicago. He was the athlete Chicagoans were maybe most proud of. And Michael walks in and just takes Chicago away from him.
You know, you come home and your hometown fans despise you. That must have been tough to take.
It affected me because as a kid, I always wanted to play for the Chicago Bulls, but I loved it. I mean, I enjoyed it because we were always beating those guys.
Detroit realized Chicago had a more athletic team than they did, so they induced the younger, more fragile Bulls into a physical and psychological battle that would shape the rivalry for seasons to come.
Nice play. And Lampier taking a shot at Paxson, who did not like it.
It was almost like they bullied us and pushed us around. We always kind of felt like we had to challenge them and stand up to that, and that wasn't really who we were.
It was fun to get them off their game. That's how we got off. We were a very cerebral team. We loved to play the mental games.
Rodman would punch Pippen in the face or to hit him in the chest. He would so upset him, so infuriate him. Pippen couldn't play in these games.
They're so concerned about showing that they're men and they're physical and they're not going to back down. You know they weren't really thinking about how we're going to execute and beat these guys.
Detroit and Chicago would meet for the first time in the playoffs in 1988. And the Pistons were determined to make sure the Bulls and the league's newly crowned MVP knew who ruled the Eastern Conference.
On the switch, Jordan clobbered, and the Pistons want to make Jordan pay.
Detroit's game may have lacked artistry, but it was effective, and they dismissed the Bulls in 5 games.
And the Pistons have now a return trip ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals.
The 1988 series, however, was merely a prelude of things to come. In 1989, Michael Jordan would lead the league in scoring for the 3rd straight year, and he would lead Chicago on a remarkable run to their first Eastern Conference Finals.
The Bulls win! They win!
But waiting for Chicago were their old friends, who had a new twist in their plans to stop Jordan and the Bulls.
He's the focal point of everything they do, so let's just break down what they do, and then let's give them different looks. So Chuck says, yeah, you know, let's make a set of rules just for this guy.
The set of rules came to be known as the Jordan rules, and the Pistons considered them classified information.
Jordan rule?
The Jordan rules. Is that something you guys made up?
You know what? The Jordan rules was just a whole lot of help.
Jordan over 4 players, and Salad came away with it.
The rules were more than defensive schemes, however. They were part of a grander psychological plan.
They always played into that. Michael wanted to do it all. Michael tried to score it all and played it against him.
I mean, he was like a warrior that said, all right, they got 3 people, I'm still going to take the ball to them.
My ego was involved, you know, because I don't want a team to seem like they could dominate me or dominate us as a team.